Hello, everyone. This is Jaime with Port St. Lucie Mortgage Brokers, and today I am excited to speak with Mindy Hackett, a local realtor here in the St. Lucie, Port St. Lucie area. And I'm excited because not only is she, I consider her my friend, but also she is amazing at what she does. I know she helps a lot of her clients, so I thought I'd bring her on and have her talk to you guys about how she's navigating today's market, what she does for to make sure to ensure she has success in this market, and kind of her mindset on how she goes about doing business. Taking care of her clients and obviously being successful in what she does. So, Mindy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, perfect. So, I will say, I will start with, we were speaking before we came on recording for maybe almost an hour, and I even mentioned then I wish I would have recorded that because every time we speak, it's an amazing conversation. So I'm excited that you give me the opportunity to talk to you, record and obviously share that with the audience. So thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. I always love our conversations, and I think that's because both of us have a mindset of always learning.
Yep.
And what can we do to what knowledge can we gain to help other people? And
Absolutely.
and for me, even interestingly, one day, one thing that made me very happy was when I present offers to other agents, right? I will introduce the lender to them as well. So I will call another agent and say, hey, by the way, my buyer's pre-approved with and a lot of times it's you, Jaime Uribe, and he's, absolutely fantastic, and he's got some really great products, and he's really someone you're going to want to have in your Rolodex after this transaction and whatnot. And, one day I saw that you were doing an open house with one of the agents that I was doing a deal with that made a relationship with you, and it made me so happy to contribute and let you have another agent to contribute to your success, and that made me very joyful to see that.
Well, thank you. Thank you. First of all, thank you, because I know I actually started thinking about this maybe yesterday, the day before. I can't believe how long we've been working together. Time just flies. I think it's been almost like 7 years. It's insane. Like I was thinking about, I'm like, really that long, or 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. So, thank you for the kind words. And, the success that I've had has been because of the people that I work with. And obviously you being one of those, and I appreciate, you helping me grow my business. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Before we go too deep into, what we want to kind of share with the audience, tell the audience a little bit about yourself. I know a lot of people do know you. A lot of people have worked with you because I know you've been successful in the Port St. Lucie market for a very long time. So, but for those that haven't, or maybe new to the market, take a minute, introduce yourself, and tell them anything you want.
Oh, sure. Well, I have been an agent since 2006 in this area only. I have been with Berkshire Hathaway only this whole time. It used to be Prudential, it got bought out, etc. But I've been under the same brokerage for, I guess I'm in my 18th year now.
Wow.
The whole time. And, a lot of that loyalty is due to my broker and the high quality of agents in our office and the relationships here, and how all the agents here in our office support each other and are genuinely happy and not jealous, or we don't feel like we're in competition. In fact, we help each other so much you wouldn't even believe it. So, I've been here for quite some time. And, most recently, the past few years, I ranged from the top 6 to the top 9% of Berkshire Hathaway agents nationwide, which is quite an honor because Berkshire Hathaway agents are definitely uh, the step above, I feel, ethically, and we have a lot of great tools that a lot of other brokerages don't have. And I'm very thankful to be associated with a company that's held in such high regard.
Awesome. And I actually appreciate you mentioning that, because I actually had it here. I know that you've been recognized numerous times, especially I think it was just recently. I remember you sharing with me how Berkshire recognize you as one of their top producers, not only here locally, right? Am I saying that correctly? It was actually on a national level or
Yes,
regional,
nationwide.
nationwide. So
Yes.
congratulations again. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
So, all right. So let's start with kind of, tell us a little bit about the real estate market in Port St. Lucie, what you're seeing today. And then we'll kind of go from there.
Well, I will say that the market here, real estate is very local. And so one of the big mistakes a lot of people make is listening to whatever they're hearing on the news, because whatever is happening statistically nationwide may not be what's happening statistically here locally. And even right now, I'm seeing some anomalies where certain neighborhoods are performing very, very differently than certain other neighborhoods, right? But statistically, year over year, let's look at our numbers from, I think this is, I don't know what month this was, but in Port St. Lucie, well, we're in April. This is probably February's numbers I'm looking at right now, because March numbers are going to come out later this next week. But February, year over year, the number of closed sales is up 8.9%. Median sale price is up 9.4% year over year. Average sale price is up 14.5% year over year. And we have a 4-month supply of inventory, whereas last year at this time we had a 3.1-month supply of inventory.
And I'll just jump in. And I know, although we say even 4%, you could actually dig a little bit deeper, dive deeper into that. And there's neighborhoods, like you mentioned, that you may have a 15-day, 30 days to contract, listings, and then some of them may be, over that 4%. So it's very localized depending on where you're living or where you're looking to purchase. Is that correct?
Right. So, I mean, even right now, we're seeing, what I've been noticing this year is, for instance, I see a lot of inventory coming on in 55 plus neighborhoods. And I think that a lot of that is economic, because we're seeing taxes and insurance go up so much. So a lot of these, let's say 55 plus communities that were built in the 70s have had huge, where my whole time being a realtor, right? Let's say their HOA fee was somewhere around 300, 325 a month for,
and that was
16,
considered expensive at that
yeah,
time.
for 16 out of the last 18 years, let's say they've been at that number. Well, and then all of a sudden with these insurance issues coming up now, and then the age of the building, if once you get past a certain age, insurance companies view things differently. And so now we're seeing these fees reaching, at around $500 a month. And so for someone on a fixed income, that's not that, and with a grocery bill that's 40% more than it was 2 years ago. That's a lot of money.
We won't get into the groceries. That would heat me up, but
no, but we're
but you're
seeing,
right.
or some people are like, wow, well, economically, where inflation is and whatnot, not wanting to carry 2 homes anymore. And then also, 55 plus have turnover cycles as well. Where you'll see, let's say something was built, I don't know how many years the cycles are, but you'll see over a couple years. Let's say something was built in the year 2000. Well, let's say around the 20-year mark, those people that were 55 when they bought, 55, 60 are now 75, 80, and they want to downsize or whatever. So they have their cycles as well. But when you talk about inventory, just so people know, it's generally considered that a 6-month supply of inventory is considered a balanced market. And so in a balanced market, real estate prices generally go up 3 to 6% a year. So, in a 3 to 4 month supply, we're probably are looking at around, 10% a year. And back when we had a 1-month supply of inventory, that's why we were seeing, 20% increases per year. So it all just depends. It's supply and demand on inventory. So a lot of people are asking about a crash, and I don't even think that's, we've slowly crept from 1 month to 4 months here over the last, I don't know, 2.5 years. So, unless we see inventory in excess of a 6-month supply, I don't really see prices in general going down. However, in some of these neighborhoods that, for whatever economic reasons, do have a higher supply of inventory, you might see things come down in certain neighborhoods. But there's other neighborhoods, for instance, a buyer under 500,000 in Palm City, maybe looking at some gated communities in Martin Downs or whatever. There's really not that much inventory, and it's very competitive. So it's very local. And when we're writing an offer, we need to take a look at these things. If I'm writing an offer in a neighborhood with a 4-month supply of inventory, then maybe we don't need to come in as strong as, a neighborhood that is very competitive right now. So it's really important to have a knowledge of these things and know what's going on in each neighborhood. If there's 40 listings in a 55 plus community and there's 8 under contract, then maybe we don't need to write a full price offer.
Yeah. And I think, you shared something with me. I think it was about a week ago.
Mhm.
We were speaking and how you tailored, I think you mentioned how you called the listing agent and you asked them, look, what is the seller trying to accomplish, right? Is it maybe, obviously they're looking for X amount in price, right? They're looking for a specific price, but could we make this out? Could we sweeten the pot by closing faster or, whatever the case may be? And you shared how you have that conversation. I found so much value in that I actually asked you permission at the time. That was so good. I was so taken back with so much good information that I actually asked you at that moment, hey, do you mind if I share this? Because I found value in it. And I did. And I got to tell you, the response was like, wow, that's awesome. Like, especially for the newer realtor or listing agent or buyer's agents, they may not have the experience and trying to learn so much at the exact same time, especially when they're ramping up in the industry, that they don't know these things. And if they do, they just don't know how to implement it. So I will tell you, I got great feedback from that share that you gave me. So thank you.
You're welcome. A lot of, on a lot of my listings, I'll have agents literally, they'll show the property. They don't call me and they just submit an offer. And I hate to admit this, but there's been 1 or 2 times I had something sitting in my junk folder for 2 days and didn't see it because nobody called me or texted me to tell me they sent an offer over. And of course, that's embarrassing for me to tell a seller, hey, I just found this offer in my junk mail because no one called me.
And the worst part, they probably had something of value to give your seller, right? Let it be closed faster or whatever it was, but they didn't even ask, is the worst part, right? Like that's a missed opportunity.
I honestly have oh, my phone's doing something weird. Okay, I honestly have a very high success rate of winning multiple offer situations.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, one of the reasons is because I call the other agent and have a discussion with them about what's important to their seller. Because if my buyer is in a position to accommodate a tight closing date or a long closing date, or hey, my seller really is adamantly against paying title and they feel it's really insulting, or whatever the thing is that's important to them, I want to make my offer, more appealing to the seller and for my buyers and make the transaction work for everybody. And those relationships that I have with other agents are just as valuable to me as the relationships I have with my own clients, because, you never know when you're going to be in a multiple offer situation, or, it's important. And like I said, one of the relationship building things that I do with other agents is, I'll build up whatever lender I'm presenting the offer with and letting them know that, hey, Jamie's awesome and you're really going to want to use him as a resource. He can do this, this, and this, and he has these products that some lenders don't have, and, you'll really enjoy working with them. And, so it's just, to me.
Yeah, you give them value. You're providing value to that other agent or
Right.
So that
I
go ahead.
can, if you want, I can read part of the letter to you. if you want.
Sure, absolutely, go for it.
And so it basically says, to the other agent, thank you for being available to answer all of my questions the past few days. My buyers absolutely fell in love with the property view and how the windows in the back take full advantage of that. They appreciate the well thought out remodel and floor plan changes. As with any home, there are a few things that remain to be addressed, such as blah, 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 blah. But overall, they truly felt at home and appreciated the smart and well appointed design of the home. After much consideration and thought, we're offering X dollars. I'm paraphrasing here, a short inspection, a short closing, and buyer pay title. We've carefully reviewed the condition of the home and the permits. We are aware of the roof age and the age of the AC, and unless there's an issue that prevents the buyer from getting insurance or any major surprises, we're not expecting to have any inspection issues at all. It's merely a formality to do the wind and 4-point. The buyers
That is gold. I gotta tell you, that is gold. That's the part that I stopped you and said, hold on, stop. I gotta share this. That part that you talk about how and it's nice because it would have been easy for you to say this is bad in that house, kind of insulting. You could have taken it, look, you're lucky we're buying it because this is broken and that's old. And you completely turned it around. So much it impressed me that you were like, hey, we know these issues and we're okay with this and we're doing the inspection as a formality. I mean, that was amazing. Again, that was the part that got me.
Hey, 18 years of going to home inspections is very valuable knowledge. To me, that going to them and showing up for them is what makes me a great agent when I'm working with buyers, because I know what to look for. I know what's going to be an issue, and I know, vaguely, generally how much it's going to cost. So then I continued that they've already spoken with their insurance agent and they're comfortable with the worst case scenario for insurance, and that will move quickly with title application and HOA app. And then I said, I've attached all the sales in this community in the past 12 months. We're offering, this house has been mostly remodeled, for the record, and nicely, smartly, but some things haven't been done. Anyway, we're offering approximately the highest price per foot for all the sold comps, and offering to pay title. The highest price per foot is $282. The next highest is $270, with the median falling in the $250 to $260 per square foot range. Although we will not be ordering an appraisal, I am very confident that because of the excellent condition of this home, an appraisal would fall in the range of $282.84 per square foot. This is something to carefully consider if you're entertaining any finance offers. This was a multiple offer situation.
Wow.
We're ready to hit the ground running and get the deal done. Please reach out to me with any questions.
I'm telling you, that's value right there. And I hope if there's a realtor out there listening to that, I mean, I would be jotting out notes if I was a realtor. That's amazing. That, like I said, I have these conversations all the time, and look, I've gotten a lot of great shares that I've learned a lot from, and I'll tell you that's definitely one of them.
Well, the listing was overpriced a little bit, and that's okay. That happens a lot in this market. People are trying, they think it's still 2022 or 2021, and they're trying to get top dollar, and but
they should. I mean, obviously, everyone's trying to get top dollar, either on the buyer, on the seller, on the listing side, right? Or the buyer's trying to get the best price that they can on their end. So,
right. Well, anyway, long story short, my offer was accepted. And it was because we did our homework.
Yep. And I like that you put facts in there. You made it emotional, like the buyer likes the windows. It was just overall, beautiful. So
now we have to be very careful when writing love letters, just for the record, because you are, I'm sure, a part of also having to conform to fair housing laws. So we can't talk about familial status and things like that. Like, their kids are going to love the backyard or whatever, So I usually do shy away from buyers writing letters to sellers. It happens quite a bit. They are submitted, and we do hear these stories about them being accepted all the time. And is anyone going to sue anyone over that? I don't know. But
hey, you got to do your part and do it the right way. So
right. So
thanks for adding that.
yeah, this is, for me, this is about the house and what the buyers appreciate about the house. And, um, you know, we were willing to pay what they considered to be top dollar for the house, which happened to be $23,000 less than the seller was asking. And so, and it was a multiple offer situation again, and we did win. But, and to be honest with you, whenever I write these letters, I actually pray for the right words before I write them. So,
Well, I'm telling you, those were the right words. So
yeah,
I'm not sure they could have been better. Here's what we're going to do, because I want you to share, actually. I'm going to ask you to share other things that you do to ensure that you have the success that you've had. But we're pushing up against the clock here. So what we're going to do is we're going to circle back and we're going to have a part 2 to this conversation.
for sure.
And we'll have, additional things that additional steps you take for your business to grow. And also we have a little conversation to talk about AI and how they're just going to replace everybody. You and me are not even going to be here. It's going to be the robot of us talking to each other. So we'll have a conversation on AI and being replaced. How about that?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thank you, Mindy. We will circle back and we'll have part 2 of this conversation. Thank you.
Sounds good. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.